Imagine one country that has both fire and ice inside it. In the far north, the air is thick and wet, like a steamy bathroom, where huge waterfalls send misty clouds into a thick green forest. Here, colorful toucans and playful monkeys live happily in a world that's always warm. But if you travel south, very far south, the land changes into a super cold place. Huge glaciers, which are like giant rivers of old ice, cut their way through pointy mountains. Their bright blue surfaces groan and crack because they are so heavy. This is a land of amazing differences, a place where nature shows off its full, exciting power in the most surprising ways. This amazing land is Argentina. It's a country so big that it seems to hold many different worlds at once. It's hard to really understand how huge it is, stretching from a warm line called the Tropic of Capricorn, almost down to the very cold Antarctic Circle. To travel through Argentina is like watching the earth show off its muscles. You can stand on the highest mountain in North and South America, the mighty Aconcagua, and feel the thin, cold air. Then you can go down to huge, rich plains that seem to go on forever. It's a country known for its extremes, like a blanket made from the driest deserts, the thickest jungles, and the cleanest, coldest wild places you can imagine. The differences aren't just about the land, they're part of everyday life here. In the busy center of Buenos Aires, the air is full of the strong, fancy dance of the tango, a dance that came from all the different people living in the city. But if you go out to the countryside, onto the big Pampas plains, you'll find a different kind of feeling. Here, the lonely cowboy, called a gaucho, rides across the horizon. He's a symbol of being free and having a strong connection to the land. From the heat of the city to the quiet aloneness of the plains, Argentina shows a different side everywhere you go. We often think of our planet as having different places, separated by oceans and big lands. But here, in this one amazing country, those lines blur. It gives us a peek at how many different kinds of things our world can have. It's like a living museum of nature's wonders, from the super dry salt flats in the northwest to the windy, cold islands of Tierra del Fuego. Argentina is more than just a spot on a map. It shows how creative our planet is, a land that always surprises, challenges, and inspires anyone who takes the time to really see it. And its story is one of strength, beauty, and a wild spirit. Koha. Argentina's geography is a huge story, shaped by the giant Andes Mountains that run down its western side like a backbone. This huge wall of rock, going all the way down the country, is what makes it so incredibly different. In the far northwest, close to Bolivia and Chile, the Andes create a high, dry desert plain called the Puna de Atacama. Here, super beautiful landscapes of red rock canyons and huge salt flats stretch out under a bright blue sky. It's a tough, dry world, but life still finds a way, with vicuñas and flamingos getting used to the thin air and salty lakes. As you move south along these mountains, the weather starts to change. The dry highlands turn into the green, lush hills at the bottom of the central Andes. This is Argentina's famous wine country, where grapevines grow well in the rich valleys, watered by melting snow from the tall peaks above. Further east, the mountains flatten out into the Gran Chaco, a huge hot plain of scrub bushes and forest that it shares with nearby countries. This is a wilder, less traveled area, a hot and humid place that is home to lots of amazing animals, like pumas, capybaras, and hundreds of kinds of birds that fill the air with their calls. The middle of the country is mostly the Pampas, one of the biggest and most fertile plains on Earth. This huge sea of grass, covering hundreds of thousands of square kilometers, is the true heart of Argentina. It's a place of quiet beauty, with a huge open sky and a horizon that seems to go on forever. This rich soil is why Argentina has so much food and is the old home of the Gaucho cowboy. It's a place that feels both huge and personal, a landscape that has really shaped what it means to be Argentine, giving a feeling of freedom and a strong connection to the land. Eventually, all trips south in Argentina lead to Patagonia. This is where the country's wild spirit is strongest. The Andes Mountains get even more amazing here, with famous pointy granite peaks like Mount Fitzroy and Cerro Torre poking through the clouds. Huge ice fields, the biggest outside the North and South Poles, feed giant glaciers that flow down into blue-green lakes. The wind is always blowing, shaping the trees and the land. It's a rough, natural world, a last wild frontier that ends in Tierra del Fuego, the land of fire, a group of islands at the very tip of the continent, the doorway to the Southern Ocean and Antarctica. Long before the Andes Mountains were as tall as they are now, this land was a super old kingdom ruled by giants. Argentina has one of the world's most important collections of old animal bones, giving us an amazing look into the time of dinosaurs. The rocks of Patagonia, especially, have given up the bones of some of the biggest creatures that ever walked the earth. Imagine an animal longer than a blue whale, weighing as much as a whole group of elephants. This was the Patagotitan majorum, a giant plant-eating dinosaur whose old bones were found here. This discovery changed what we thought about how truly huge life could be. These finds aren't just one-time things, they're part of a rich story of ancient life. Scientists who study old life have found not just giants, but a whole world of old creatures. The Giganotosaurus, a scary meat-eater even bigger than the famous Tyrannosaurus rex, once hunted across these plains. Its huge head and jagged teeth tell a story of a hunter at the very top of the food chain. Digs have found whole beds of old bones, with dinosaur eggs, footprints, and the bones of countless kinds of animals, painting a clear picture of a world that was here over 65 million years ago, a world full of life on a truly massive scale. This ancient history feels real in the land itself. When you look across the plain, windy plains of Patagonia, it's easy to imagine these amazing creatures walking around. The sheer emptiness and raw, powerful geology of the area feel timeless, connecting today to a deep, faraway past. The land feels old, shaped by forces much bigger than us. Many of Argentina's national parks are not just safe places for today's animals, but are also special protected areas for these super valuable old bone sites. They keep the story of our planet's old inhabitants safe for future generations to find and be amazed by. Today, even though the dinosaurs are gone, Argentina is still a safe place for an amazing variety of animals. In the faraway wetlands of Ibarra, capybaras, the world's biggest rodents, eat grass peacefully next to giant anteaters and marsh deer. On the rough coast of the Valdez Peninsula, southern right whales come every year to have their babies, while groups of Magellanic penguins number in the hundreds of thousands. Pumas still hunt in the hills of the Andes, and the Grand Andean condor, with its huge wings, flies easily on warm air currents above the peaks. It's a land where nature, both from the past and now, deserves respect and wonder. The culture of Argentina is like a rich and complicated blanket, made from the threads of its native peoples, its time as a colony, and all the people who moved there and shaped the country we see today. At its heart is the famous figure of the Gaucho. More than just a cowboy, the Gaucho is a symbol of Argentina's spirit of freedom, strength, and strong connection to the land. For hundreds of years, these skilled horsemen rode the huge, open Pampas plains, living a wandering life, herding cows, and showing a fierce independence. Their traditions, from their special clothes to their deep knowledge of the land, are a key part of Argentine stories and legends. While the Gaucho shows the spirit of the countryside, the Tango shows the heart of the city. Born in the working-class areas of Buenos Aires and Montevideo in the late 1800s, the Tango is a dance of strong feelings, sadness, and connection. It came from a mix of cultures, blending African rhythms, European music, and the longing for home felt by millions of immigrants who had crossed the ocean looking for a new life. The Tango tells a story of longing, love, and loss, shown through fancy footwork and a powerful, emotional hug. It's more than just a dance. It's a language understood in the city's dance halls, or milongas, every single night. The story of Argentina can't be told without talking about how much immigration changed it. Between the late 1800s and early 1900s, millions of Europeans, mostly from Italy and Spain, arrived on its shores. They brought with them their customs, their languages, their food, and their dreams, forever changing the look of the country. You can see this influence everywhere, from the buildings of Buenos Aires, which look like Paris and Madrid, to the Italian sounds you hear in the Argentine Spanish language. This mix of cultures created a society that is uniquely South American, but also very European in its feelings. These things together make a culture that is both proud of its old ways and open to the world. The Gauchos' lonely independence and the Tango's close connection might seem like opposites, but they are two sides of the same coin. They show a country that values both its tough individualism and its strong sense of community. Whether on a faraway ranch in the Pampas or in a busy cafe in the capital, there's a shared feeling of who they are, a pride in being Argentine that comes from this complicated and interesting history. It's a culture that is always changing, but always stays true to its special spirit. To understand how Argentines live their daily lives, you first need to understand the ritual of mate. This isn't just a drink. It's a super important part of social life and a deep symbol of community and friendship. The mate itself is a hollowed-out gourd filled with the dried leaves of the yerba mate plant. Hot water is poured over the leaves, and the drink is sipped through a metal straw called a bombilla. The gourd is then passed from person to person in a circle, a simple act of sharing that builds friendships and helps people talk. It's shared among co-workers, friends in a park, and families at home. It's a constant, unifying thing in Argentine culture. Just as mate gives energy for the day, the asado, or barbecue, feeds the community. The asado is much more than just a meal. It's a special social event, a slow and careful ritual that can last for hours. It's the main event for most family get-togethers, celebrations, and Sunday meals. The focus is on really good cuts of beef, cooked slowly over wood or charcoal by the person in charge, called the asador. The process isn't rushed, allowing plenty of time for talking, laughing, and making social bonds stronger. The asado is a celebration of having plenty, of friendship, and the simple joy of sharing delicious food with good company. And then there's football, or football. In Argentina, football isn't just a sport, it's almost like a religion. The passion it creates is unmatched, bringing the country together in times of shared happiness and sadness. The rivalry between clubs, especially Buenos Aires' big teams, Boca Juniors and River Plate, is famous, creating an exciting feeling that defines the city's identity. On game day, the country stops. The stadiums become like churches of noise and color, and the streets burst with celebration or fall into quiet sadness. Legends like Diego Maradona and Lionel Messi are honored as national heroes, showing the art, style, and passion that Argentines see in themselves. These three main things, mate, asado, and football, show the very heart of Argentine society. They highlight a culture that really values shared experiences. Passing the mate gourd, slowly cooking the asado, the loud cheer of a stadium, all are ways of showing a deep need for connection and community. They are the rituals that hold the country together, giving a rhythm to life that is warm, full of passion, and deeply human. They turn everyday activities into meaningful traditions, making family, friendship, and national pride stronger with every sip, every bite, and every goal. Buenos Aires is the lively, beating heart of Argentina, a city with grand streets, fancy buildings, and endless energy. It's a big city where European style meets Latin American passion. Each neighborhood, or barrio, has its own special feel. In La Boca, brightly colored houses line the Caminito Street, and tango dancers perform for people walking by, a living tribute to the area's immigrant past. In contrast, Recoleta is a neighborhood with Parisian-style townhouses, expensive shops, and the famous Recoleta Cemetery, a stunning city of the dead, where Argentina's important people, including Eva Perón, are buried in fancy tombs. The city's cultural life is exciting. It's a place with world-class theaters like the Teatro Colón, countless bookstores, and a coffee shop culture that invites you to sit and watch the world go by for hours. But the city's true pulse can be felt in its football stadiums. A visit to La Bombonera, the home of Boca Juniors, is an unforgettable experience for your senses. The stands seem to shake as tens of thousands of passionate fans sing, cheer, and jump together, creating an atmosphere of pure, strong devotion. Buenos Aires is not a city to just watch. It's a city to experience, a place that uses all your senses and leaves a lasting impression of its lively spirit. Far from the city energy of the capital lies a world of deep quiet and amazing beauty. Los Glaciares National Park in Patagonia. This special place, recognized by UNESCO, is a kingdom of ice, a leftover from the last big ice age. The park is home to a huge part of the southern Patagonian ice field, the third largest ice cap in the world. From this immense frozen area, 47 big glaciers flow down into the valleys. The most famous of these is the Perito Moreno Glacier, a giant river of ice that is, surprisingly, still moving forward. Standing in front of its towering 70-meter-high wall is an experience that makes you feel small. Seeing the Perito Moreno is like watching time pass in slow motion. Every now and then, huge pieces of ice break off its face, crashing into the waters of Lago Argentino with a thunderous roar that echoes through the valley. The sound is a powerful reminder of nature's constant, strong force. The glacier's surface is a messy landscape of deep cracks, tall ice towers, and bright blue ponds of melted water. Los Glaciares National Park is a safe place for this frozen world, a protected frontier where you can see the raw power and amazing beauty of ice, a sharp and magnificent contrast to the passionate human energy of Argentina's great cities. At the very southern tip of Argentina, on the main island of the Tierra del Fuego group of islands, is the city of Ushuaia. It proudly calls itself the southernmost city in the world, a name that shows its remote frontier spirit. Surrounded by the dramatic peaks of the Marshall Mountain Range and the icy waters of the Beagle Channel, Ushuaia feels like an outpost at the very edge of civilization. It was first built as a prison colony, but it has since turned into a busy place for adventure tourism, serving as the main starting point for trips to the Antarctic continent, which is just 1,000 kilometers away across the rough Drake Passage. The land around Ushuaia is just as interesting as the city itself. Tierra del Fuego National Park protects a stunning landscape of cold forests, calm bays, and rough coastline. Here, you can hike to the end of the Pan-American Highway, which suddenly stops at La Pattaya Bay, marking the final spot of a road system that starts in Alaska. The park is a safe place for animals, including beavers, which were brought here by people, red foxes, and many different kinds of seabirds. The name Land of Fire, or Tierra del Fuego, was given by Ferdinand Magellan's trip, who saw the smoke from the fires of the native Yagan people along the coast. Moving north from this final frontier, Patagonia keeps showing off its treasures. The small mountain town of El Chalten is another gem, known as Argentina's national capital of trekking. It sits under the shadow of the famous Mount Fitzroy and the granite needle of Cerro Torre, two of the most challenging and beautiful peaks in the Andes. For hikers and climbers, El Chalten is a paradise, offering amazing trails that lead straight from the town into a wild area of glaciers, turquoise lakes, and breathtaking mountain views. The weather here is known for being unpredictable, but if you're patient, you'll be rewarded with a view of unmatched mountain beauty. Argentina also has some surprising facts. It's one of the world's top exporters of lemons, with huge farms growing in the country's northwest. The country also has several permanent bases in Antarctica, showing its long-standing connection to the White Continent. These lesser-known facts add more layers to the country's identity, showing a nation that is not only a land of natural wonders and passionate culture, but also an important player on the world stage, with interests stretching from the warm tropics to the South Pole. Its ability to surprise, it seems, is as vast as its territory. From the loud curtain of water at Iguazu Falls to the quiet, moving ice of the Perito Moreno Glacier, Argentina is a country that can't be easily put into one box. It's like a symphony of landscapes, with each part more dramatic and surprising than the last. It's a land where you can feel the warmth of the tropics on your skin in the morning, and with a simple flight, stand in awe of a frozen world that afternoon. This huge variety isn't just what makes it special, it's its greatest gift. It offers a powerful reminder of the incredible differences and beauty our planet holds within one country. The spirit of Argentina is found not only in its amazing scenery, but also in its people. It's in the shared ritual of mate, a simple friendly gesture that connects strangers and brings families together. It's in the passionate hug of the tango, a dance that tells the story of a nation built by dreamers from all over the world. It's in the roar of the crowd at a football match and the quiet pride of the gaucho looking over the endless pampas. This is a culture that shows its feelings openly, a society that values community, old traditions, and the joy of shared experiences above everything else. To explore Argentina is to go on a journey of discovery, not just of a place, but of a feeling. It's the feeling of standing at the end of the world in Ushuaia, looking out towards the Antarctic horizon. It's the feeling of wonder as you watch a condor flying above the Andes peaks. It's the feeling of connection when you share a meal cooked over an open fire under a huge star-filled sky. It's a country that doesn't just show you its wonders. It invites you to become part of its story, to feel its rhythm, and to be moved by its spirit. And so, the invitation is open. To those who seek adventure, who are moved by natural beauty, and who are curious about the human story, Argentina is waiting. It is a land of giants, both old and living, a place of fire and ice, of passion and quietness. It is a country that promises to challenge what you think and fill you with a sense of wonder. Whether you are hiking to the base of a pointy granite mountain or losing yourself in the music of a Buenos Aires milonga, you will find that Argentina is more than just a place to visit. It is an experience that will stay with you for a lifetime.